Follow along in this Adobe InDesign tutorial and let me show you how to create an interactive flyer with color theme animation. In this lesson, I'll go over how to set animation to multiple objects in a layout and use the timing panel to control playing them together. So let's jump right into this lesson and start creating. All right, let's get started by creating a new document. I'm going to click on the New File button. That'll bring up my new document window here. I'm going to click on the Web tab just so the units can be converted to pixels. Of course, you can choose one of these presets available to you, but for this lesson, we'll be working on a letter half page size meant for web. So it'll be 396 pixels. Just hit your tab key and then put your cursor in the height field. And this will be 612 pixels. And you can see the orientation is portrait. We'll only need one page for this lesson. Everything else is fine. You can preview the page before you create it to make sure it's how you want it. And then you would just hit create. Now I have a template here, which I'll share with you in the download folder. If you want to work from this, that's fine, or you can start from scratch. This template has placeholder text frames as well as paragraph styles, so you can focus more on the animation side of things and less on the design. So the first thing we want to do is add the main artwork to this template. You can see I left a good amount of space here that will add the main artwork for each dancer in this lesson here, okay? I do also have a Illustrator file, which I'll share with you. And there's 3 shapes that we'll place behind each session instructor, the dancers. And we'll add an image inside of these shapes as well. I'll show you how to do that and add an effect to these as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the X first, and I'll just copy that, go back to InDesign, and we'll start with that one there. And I'm just pasting it in. Why am I doing it this way? Because I want it to remain a vector compound path shape rather than an image. In other words, I want to pull in an image and place it inside of this X. If this was an X inside of an image frame, then what would happen is when I pull in that image, it'll just override the X with the new image. So we want to copy it from Illustrator to InDesign. I'm going to just scale this down a bit. To do that, hold Shift Command and just drag in one of the corners. That's a good size for now. Maybe just a little bit bigger, just a touch. And you'll see when I bring in the other shapes, I'll want them to be roughly around the same size. Great, so the dancer that will correspond with this shape is this image here, which you'll find in the image download folder, which I'll share with you. You can find that link in the description. Again, I'm just going to drag and drop that in, and I'll scale it down because it is quite large. Actually, what I'll do is I'll bring it in again and I'll drag it the size I want so I don't have to scale it. Perfect. I'll leave that on the pasteboard for now, and let's focus on this X shape. I do have another image here called Graffiti 1, and basically this image Graffiti 1, which you'll find in the download folder as well, will be the same image used in each shape. So let's bring that over. You can drag it from your desktop to your InDesign project, and I'm just gonna drop it right in there, okay? You can see if I click the content grabber, it's really, really big. So as a starting point, I'm just going to hold Shift, Option, Command, and C. And what that does, it just fits the content to the frame, okay? So that's good. Now, you'll notice, or you'll remember, if I just move this to this, below a bit, move it down a bit, remember the background in that shape is blue. So let me just do Command X. And with your content grabber activated here, just make sure that you have that so you can see the bounding box, the orange box. I'm gonna go to my properties panel, go to opacity, and let's choose luminosity. And let's set the opacity to 60%. Perfect. So that's what I want there. Now I can move my first instructor over and place him in front of the shape. Now I can adjust this frame to make it a little bit closer. It's just better when I want to scale scale it up. Make sure that you have all the shadow that you want without cutting all the shadow off. Again, I'm just holding Shift Command and I'm dragging upwards, or any of the handles for that matter. And let's go ahead and something like that is fine. Of course, we can readjust this as we're working. I'm just gonna snap those to the margins, and we'll be using the layers panel for a lot of this. You can see that it's called dance.psd, and then I have a blue title here. Let's see where that is. Okay, so that's the name here in the template. So that's blue title. We'll go over all that as we're animating. That'll become more important when we're adding the animation. But it's important to work, let me just tear it off here. It's important to work with your layers here, because then you'll see the more we're adding, the more it's going to start becoming a little confusing. So it's better just to kind of turn things on and off, okay? So let's call this, instead of graffiti, we'll call this blue shape, perhaps, is good. Okay, so we have the blue shape, we have the dancer, and then let's hide those for now. And we'll bring in the next set, okay? So let me go to my Illustrator file and let me grab the square shape, and I'll do Command C, and let's go to InDesign, and I'll just do Command V and paste it in. Now again, I'm going to turn my first shape on because I want to compare them. You don't want the first shape to really be too much bigger than the second shape, so that's important. And then just make sure that that is centered as well. Let me turn the blue shape off. Perfect. Now I can bring in graffiti 1 again. There it is, and just drop it into that shape. Okay. I'm going to click the content grabber. Again, I'm going to hold Shift Option Command C. If you want to do that the long form way, you would just go up to Object, Fitting, and then Fill Frame Proportionally. Okay. You can also do Content Aware Fit, which might work better for you, but these are all of these are fitting adjustments. I usually just do the shortcut Shift Option Command C. Okay. Again, let's go to the Properties panel, and under the opacity and under appearance, let's make that luminosity. And in this case, again, we'll just type in 60. Perfect. So we have the first 2 shapes set. And let me just make sure that I'm going to rename this one as well. This one will be called Pink Shape. Perfect. And now that we have that on the page, let's bring in our second dance instructor here. You can see I have it there. Again, I'm just going to drag it. It's probably easier because these are large files. So if you just drop it in, you saw what happened. It'll probably be way too big and you'll spend more time scaling it down or bumping it down in size. So the quick way of scaling, again, is Shift Command on Windows. Shift Command on Mac, and on Windows it would be Shift Control, and then just drag any of the 4 corners is the best way to scale. Great, so I have my second dance instructor in. I think that one maybe just a little bit bigger. And again, the best way of getting around this is just turn your other dancer on. Let's see here. If I just turn this one on, you can compare. Let me turn the pink shape off. So you can see in comparison, the back instructor and the one in the foreground are comparable in size. So that is exactly what I want. So that's good. I'm going to turn that back on and turn the first dancer off. That's why it's important here, because we're adding all the content on one layer here. Or on one page, I should say, for our animation. This is the best way of doing it, turning it on, off, okay? It's the best way of working. Perfect. So now that we have our first 2 on the page, let's add our third. So I could turn the pink shape off for now and the dance 2 off. I'm gonna go back to my Illustrator file. Let's click on the third shape, Command C, go back to InDesign, Command V. Now this one's a little bit big, so I'm gonna scale that down. Let's make it so the left and right hand corners of the triangle are touching the outer margins. Let's do that. Now let me turn the other shapes back on and see how they compare in size. That is good. So why don't I do this? I'll select all three and maybe just align them center, and like that is good. Okay, let's turn the other two back off. And again, let's grab the graffiti image. There it is in my loaded cursor. And all I have to do is hover over the shape and drop it in. Click the content grabber, Shift Option Command C, go to your properties panel, go to opacity, luminosity, 60%. Perfect. Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to turn the other two shapes back on. It might take a little while. You might find some lag when you're turning these on and off, only because there's images in them, and we're starting to add some other images which may bog down or slow down the file here. But if I select all three, I'm going to go to the effects panel here, and I want to add an inner shadow. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to move this off to the side, and let's check the preview on. You can see that it adds an inner shadow on each shape, almost like a cutout kind of effect. And I want to make this 90 degrees, and I'm going to make the opacity 85%, and then I'll just click OK. I can go ahead now and add my third dance instructor image. So let me just turn off pink shape. Let me turn off blue shape. And let's go back to the CC libraries. And here's my third instructor. And again, just drag out the size. Perfect. I'm going to drag it onto the page. And again, this will need to be scaled up. So Shift Command, drag it up. That might be a little too big. Maybe just a little bit smaller. Something like that. I think the triangle shape is a little bit too big as well. So let me just bring that down. And then something like that. Perfect. Okay, and let me just move this so it's centered as well. Let me turn on one of the other dancers to compare in size. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so we have our third dancer in here now. So next what I want to do is group each shape with the corresponding dancer. I just want to rename that last shape here to purple shape. So let's click that and call it purple shape. Next, I want to group each shape with the corresponding image and rename them as main artwork. So let's do that. Let's start with the blue shape and dance, the original dancer here. And I like to just click on the activator here in the layers panel, hold my shift key and click the second one. This way I know that both of them are selected. And I'm just gonna press Command key and G to group. You can also go to Object and Group. Okay, so now that I know that those are grouped, I can go in and rename this and call it Blue Main Artwork. Okay, and if I drop that down, you can see I have the dance and blue shape in the collapsed group there. Perfect. Just hide that. Let's turn on the pink shape and dance 2. Again, just click the activator here, the indicator I should say, and then click on or hold your shift key and click on dance 2. And again, just Command G. And let's rename this one to pink main artwork. The reason why we're grouping both of those elements together is because we'll animate those as a group, okay, rather than individually. Let's turn that one off, turn purple shape on and dance 3. Click the first indicator on the purple shape, hold your shift key, click the second indicator. You can see that they're both selected. Command G, and here it is here. And you guessed it, this will be called purple main artwork. Now we have all 3 sets available, and you can see I could turn them all on, and they will be all on when we animate this. Now, of course, we want to stack them in the order that they'll appear. So, of course, blue will be first, pink will be second, and purple will be third. So that is the order that we want to animate them, and that's how they'll appear in the layout. Okay, so now we can move on to the next step. Let's go ahead now and apply animation to the 3 main artwork groups that we added to the layout. Now for this next part, we'll need the animation panel as well as the timing panel. And to find those, you could just go to Window, Interactive, Animations at the very top, and Timings at the very bottom. Now you want to group them in the same panel here, just so it's easy to work. To have to toggle between each 3 makes it a lot easier. Now I'm going to click on the blue main artwork and we'll start there. Now of course, if you wanted to add the same animation to all 3, you would simply just select all 3 groups, go to animation, and then add a preset of your choice. These will be slightly different, so I'm going to do them one at a time. I'm going to start with the blue main artwork. I'm just going to click it here in the layers panel, go to animation, and this will be a preset of fade in. They all will be. The event will keep them on page load because that's how we want them to appear. The duration will be 3 seconds. And the fade in here will be none. The reason for that is I'd really like all 3 artwork groups to have seamless transitions and really showcase the colors in the animation. The other important step here is to hide after animating, okay? This is important because after this animates, we want it to be hidden so the second one can appear, okay? That's it for that one. Let's go back to layers, and I'm gonna click on the pink main artwork now. Let's go back to animation, and the preset here again will be fade in with a 3-second duration and a fade in of none. This one will be hidden until it's animated and hidden after animation, so after it's animating. That's important because again, we don't want it to be shown on page load until our first animation plays, but after that we want it to be hidden so the third one can play as well. Perfect, so let's move on to that last one here, purple main artwork. Go to animation. Again, this will be a fade in of 3 seconds with an opacity of none. And this will be hidden until it's animated. So we don't have to hide it after because that will be the last one to show. So let's have a look and see how that appears. There's our first. It'll play for 3 seconds. There's the third. I shouldn't say it'll play. The duration is 3 seconds. So that's a good pace. I find if you do it a little bit quicker, it just might go too fast. Now, you might want it to go a little faster. You might want it to go a little slower. In that case, increase the time or decrease the time. Now, just keep in mind if you decrease it, the viewer won't get a good glimpse of, you want to see who that person is. You want to consume that content. You just don't want to have it go too quickly. So I think 3 seconds for the entire project is a good pace. So now that we have that set, we can go ahead and move on to the text frames. So we'll add a main title here. We'll add a date and then some other content here, and then we'll publish this online. But before that, we'll also set the timing so everything plays together. So that's important. So I'm going to go to my properties panel here. Let's click on this first text frame. And in my layers panel, you can see it's already called blue title. Now, if I type in here, you could see in my properties panel, look at this. I set all these paragraph styles for you. So again, it's easier for you to work off this than to start from scratch. By the way, that the font that I'm using, the typeface for this entire project is called Degular. It's an Adobe font, which I'll link in the description below as well. But of course, you can use your own if you don't have that. Just use your own font. So the name of this event is Modern Dance. Okay. Now I'm going to select it, go to my paragraph styles here, and you can see I called it main title blue. Perfect. I'm going to click in this area here, and we'll just add the date of 09.19.2022. Again, I'm going to just select all there, and this is date blue. Perfect. And that last one, this last part here, we're not going to animate, but it's just the time. Okay, so 11 a.m. dash to 1 p.m. Again, I'm going to highlight that or select all. And this is time text. text. Perfect. Now you could see here, let's go back to the layers panel. I have the blue title. I have the blue date. What we're gonna do here, watch this. I'm gonna click on blue, let's click on the title first. And I'm gonna just do Command C. And then I'm gonna edit and paste in place and paste in place again. Okay, so you can see up here, I have two versions of it. Let's call this one pink title. And let's call this one up top here purple title. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just hide the blue title for now, the one at the bottom. And let's hide that top purple one. Okay, I'm gonna click on the pink title. Let's double click in there and just select that. Okay, and go to your paragraph styles, and this will be main pink title. So you can go ahead and choose that. You can see there's that. And let's turn that pink one off. Turn this purple title on, and we'll just change that to the purple style. Okay, which I've set for you here. Main title purple. Beautiful. Now that those are set, we can just hide those for now. And let's turn blue title back on. We'll do the same thing with the date. So click it here, and then just go to edit, copy, edit, paste in place, edit, paste in place. So we're just creating two copies of that. And let's turn off the original blue date at the very bottom. Turn the top, let's rename these first, actually, is very important. So this was pink date. And the top one will be purple date. Let's turn purple off for a second here. Click that pink date one. Select the text in there. And this is date pink. Okay, pretty easy, right? Let's click on purple date. Click that, select that text, and this will be date purple. Beautiful. Those are all set now. See, like, let's turn these all on, and you can see that they all override each other. Now, the important thing is I have to go ahead and reorder these, right? Because I do want blue to be at the very top. So let's do that. Let's select these two and bring them at the very top. And let's bring purple title. Oh no, pink would be next. So pink date, let's move title here. And then date right under it. And then there's purple date and there's purple title. Let's do title first. So title date, title date, title date. Great. Now look at this. If I turn them off, they're all stacked on one another. Now, the reason we created 3 copies of the titles and the dates is because we're going to animate them to sync with the main artwork groups. So when the blue plays, the blue title will play and the blue date will play. When the pink plays, the title that's pink will play with it, etc., etc. Okay? So let's go ahead now and let's turn off pink title, pink date, purple date, and purple title. Okay, let's focus our attention now on blue title and blue date. Now for these, you just want to repeat the same animation you set down below. So with the blue title, let's go here and let's choose fade in at 3 seconds. Okay, with a opacity of none. And we want to hide this after it's animated. This is the blue modern dance title. Let's click on the date for the blue date, fade in. That's 3 seconds with a fade in of none. And this is hidden after it's animated. Let's go to layers, hide blue title, blue date. Let's turn on pink title, pink date. Now this is a case where actually you can select both. So click the blue, pink title indicator, hold your shift key, and click the pink date indicator. Go to animation, and this will be fade in with a 3-second duration. This will have a opacity of none, and this will be hidden until it's animated. It will also be hidden after it's done animating. Okay, let's go to layers again, turn those two off, click on purple date, purple title. Click on the first indicator, hold your shift key, click the second purple date indicator, go to animation, and this will be fade in with a 3-second duration. Fade in is none. And this will be hidden until it's animated. We can go ahead and turn these layers back on. And what I want to do is I want to hide the pink main artwork and purple main artwork. And I've copied over the names of each dancers from a previous file, which I'll just place around. So this is the blue version here. By the way, you can find that as a paragraph style as well. So script name blue, and then the genre text. So their name and then the genre of dance that they teach. So I'm gonna maybe pull Jason Cabello's name to that area here. And let's hide Jason Cabello and then the blue main artwork. Let's turn the pink main artwork. This is Jenna Stone. These are all fictional names that I just made up. So we'll add that down here. And let's go ahead and turn that off. And Jenna's name. Last one is Dante, and that's the purple. So I figured that's a good area up here for Dante's name. So we can hide Dante Jones and purple. And actually, let's turn these on as well, because we're going to animate them again with the exact same animation that we had for the others. Okay, so let's start with Jason. Go to animation, and we'll choose a fade in, 3 seconds. Okay, and the animation opacity will be none, and we want this to hide after it's animated. Let's go back to layers, click Jenna's name, animation, fade in, 3-second duration, none, and this will be hidden until it's animated, and then it'll hide after it's after it's done animated as well. Okay, and let's go back to layers here and choose Dante Jones, his name, and go to animation. And again, this is the exact same animation as the others. You can apply them together or do them one at a time here. There's only 3, so it's not bad. The visibility here, this will only be hidden until it's animated. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn everything on here. Perfect. So if I go to my timing panel now, you can see every animation that we set in this layout will appear here. It could get a little confusing because, you know, the animations will play in the order that you set them. For instance, if we didn't time anything, what would happen is the images would play first, then this would play second. It would just play in the order that you place them on the page. But we want these to play together. So I'm going to click on blue main artwork. I'm going to hold my command key on a Mac. If you're on Windows, hold your control key. And let's click on blue title, blue date, and Jason. And down below here, do you notice this little icon? It's called Play Together. Go ahead and click that. You can see that groups it, nests them all together. So every blue element that we set animation to will play together. Let's do the same thing for the pink animation. So pink main artwork, pink title, pink date, and Jenna Stone. We'll play those together. And you can see that it's in the order that we want here, right? So we want all the blue elements to play, we want all the pink elements to play, and then let's click on purple main artwork, purple title, purple date, Dante Jones, and play those together. So you can see they're all grouped in the order that we want them to play, which is great. So let's have a look. If I do a little preview here, there's the first set. And I forgot to change the opacity to the first name, which we can change right now. So you can see if I just go back to my layers panel and click Jason Cabello, you notice that came in with an actual fade in. So let's just go to animation and turn the fade in off. So if I play it again now, let's have a look. First set, second set, third set. So I have some other content that we won't animate. I'll just add that down below in the template. It'll correspond with the paragraph styles in the template that I'll share with you. And then what we'll do here is I'll publish it online. I'll show you how to publish it online, and I'll show you how to view it, how it looks in a web browser. Okay, so to publish the project online, you would click on the share button in the upper right-hand corner. Go ahead and click that and choose Publish Online. Now it's important that you have an Adobe account, otherwise you won't be able to do this step. So once you get this window here, you can just go ahead and rename it, or just keep the name. It'll by default, it'll be the name of the document. So I'm just going to say interactive flyer is fine. You have some other options. By the way, if you click the Advanced tab, you can improve the resolution as well. So if you find that the images aren't sharp, pick a higher resolution, and then JPEG quality is fine. I'll go back to general. You can choose a single spread. There's only one page here, but there's other options. Just keep those in mind. You would hit publish. I'm going to hit cancel because I've already went ahead and published this online. And I'll show you how it looks in a web browser. So let me just refresh the browser here. And here's the animation playing out, the 3-second duration for each. But the cool thing is we set it up as a color theme to play out in sync with the main artwork as well. So that's it. That's how you create an interactive flyer with color theme animation that can also be published online, all using Adobe InDesign. If you found this tutorial helpful, leave a like or comment below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to stay up to date with all my latest content. If you'd like to learn how to create an interactive e-magazine, check out this video right up here. Until next time, take care and keep creating.